Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. Oh yeah, welcome back to the Midday Lounge. God damn, it feels good to be back, man. Only one that can do radio like me is me. You feel me? And the ladies been saying like, "Big Daddy, where you been? We've been missing you." But of course, only girl I care about is calling me Big Daddy is a lady named D. Go ahead, lady named D. How you doing?
Oh man, I'm good. It's good to be back.
Yeah. Goddamn right, it's good to be back. Are you looking good in the leather in the locks?
No.
Locks is locking over there.
Sure is.
Girl, you look delicious like a two-piece with a biscuit. You feel me? All right, family, man. Listen, it's March. We're doing what we do best. We inside the Midday Lounge, help you get over that midday slump, keep you entertained with adult conversation. Today's adult conversation is, let's talk about this. You find out that your spouse, wife, husband, whatever you get down with, has a secret account. Somebody told me it's called escape money. Escape money. So this is gonna be a goddamn good show today. So look, I got a clip. I want y'all to hear this out, and we're gonna have to discuss some of this today. All that and more coming up. Listen to the clip. Global RnB.
Asshole for not giving my husband my escape money when I saw that we were financially struggling. I'm a 34-year-old female, have recently ran into a situation with my husband, who's a 37-year-old male, and I'm curious about if I am the asshole here or not. So me and my husband have been together for 8 years, married for 7. When I got married, my mother came to me privately and talked about setting aside money as a rainy day escape fund, if worse came to worse. My husband has never showed any signs of being dangerous and rarely even gets upset, but the way my mother talked about it, it seemed like a no-brainer to have. When me and my husband, I really don't like that. When my husband and I got together, we agreed I would be a stay-at-home wife. We are both child-free, so that was never a concern. My husband made a comfortable mid-six-figure salary. All was good until about 2 years ago. He was injured at work in a near-fatal accident. Between hospital bills and a lawsuit that we lost, that ate up nearly all of our savings, I took a part-time job while my husband was recovering. But when he fully recovered, we transitioned back into me being unemployed, as my husband insisted that it was his role to provide. He currently is working 2 full-time jobs and Ubers on his off days to keep us afloat. Here is where I might be the asshole. I do all of the expense management and have...
Listen, it didn't go too much further, but basically she went on to say that, hey, she brings all the money, and she get the money from him, and she did her little dipping and dabbing, got a little money off it, and she created her escape fund. Lady named D. You know what? I need for y'all to hit the hotline, 804-476-2306. Also hit us up on all social media platforms. Tag, put your comments in the comment section. You feel me? D. Can we talk about this?
Oh man, that was a lot. Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right. So what should a spouse have a stash just in case the marriage goes, it goes to issue or it goes downhill? So that spouse have a stash.
So I feel
that escape money.
So, all right. My main issue right now is that it's the term escape money. When it is referred to like that, but it is my honest opinion that both parties should have money put aside just in case, especially in a case where your spouse is the primary caregiver and you're the stay-at-home person by mutual agreement, because that does put you in a space. And I remember when I was younger, I had a whole different view of this until I took AP civics. Was it civics? Or whatever class you take in 12th grade. I was in the AP version of that, and there was a case study where this and it was about spousal support or whatever. But I feel like when you're in agreement where one spouse stays home and that's an agreement that you have, I do believe that it is within that person's best interest, just in case something happens, to have money set aside so they'll be okay just in case. And I don't mean just in case like you get divorced or something, but like just in case that person suddenly dies, this, that, and the third.
Yeah, there we go.
That, yes. But as far as just in case you need to get out, like that kind of that's weird.
Look, I ain't got no personal issues with any spouse. Cause I don't want to say wife, cause I know that might be back in the day, that probably would have been the wife we was talking about. But it could, hey, the wife could be the wife could be the breadwinner too. Now I know what you say. Now you know what it comes to Jackie Tramell. Jackie Tramell's the breadwinner. I don't give a damn. It don't matter what the situation is. I am the provider. Whatever she do with her money, hey, she can put a little savings. But okay, let me get back on track before I lose my mind. I don't have any issues with a spouse having a savings at all. I ain't got no issues with a savings, especially for the emergencies, especially for, in the worst case scenario, God forbid, death. I don't have no problem with that, but I definitely have a problem, just like you said, in that terminology, escape route. Now, y'all know, Jack Jamel I could be a little spiritual sometimes. They don't have to, sometimes I'm still a sinner. But in my mind, it's death do you part. That's what, point blank period. Listen, I'll be honest. I've been divorced. I didn't ask for it, but I've been divorced, okay? Because if it was for me, I'd probably still be married. Whatever the situation would have called for, all right? We would have worked that out, or somebody would have got choked out. I told you, death, do its part. So, hey, either way. But listen, I'm a person believing that if you went into, let me say it like this. I'm a person believing that I don't like that word escape route. It just tells me that you kind of went into it, you went into it with your lack of faith wasn't there. I just can't do it. Like when I go into a situation, whether I want to be married or whatever, it's
when
it.
I hear that,
I don't really care what the situation.
Like escape, you gotta escape. They're holding you hostage.
Yeah, now we're talking. Like I can't see it. Like, hey, one thing, because I had a pastor marry me before. And when they talk about sickness and health, all the bad times, the good times, look, we are freaking riding. And I just think, if I'm not beating on you or anything like that, and I ain't cheating on you, you gonna get on me maybe. Look, I can be tough on people, but I also can be very loving. So, hey, if I'm telling you ain't pulling your weight or you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, or quote unquote, what the society says, it could come off as emotional abuse, which I try not to do. I don't think I do that, but I know some people are more overly sensitive than others, so they might say it's emotional abuse. I don't really care. We gonna work it out somehow. If I ain't putting you to death, if I ain't making you want to kill yourself, if I ain't killing you physically or anything like that, we gonna figure a way to work this out. And that goes for adultery too. Even the Bible says I can divorce you for adultery, but that's my decision. Doesn't mean I have to do it.
That is true. So, should the primary provider for the family be offended if they find out that their spouse has an exit plan?
Damn.
Let's talk about this. All right. I think it's very logical like I say, I think it's very logical to have a savings, but that provider is well in his or her rights to be highly, and I mean highly, upset. Okay. To me, that just shows that the whole relationship that you saw it being you was 1 foot in and 1 foot out. The Christians call it you being lukewarm in your relationship with God. I'm saying you being lukewarm in your relationship with me. You always had in the back of your head that something might happen, and you created a way out just in case it didn't go the way that you wanted. Now I say that now because when we start talking about these red pills and we start talking about these quote unquote new modern day women, everybody looks for something that makes them feel good. Everybody wants to do whatever makes them feel good or what suits their needs. So people like to run anytime something don't suit their needs. But we take it back to just really being married. That escape route, that shit, excuse me, Lord. It pisses me off. I say it like that. Because when I say it, I was going to say this, I'll let you go. When I say I'm all in, I am all in. It don't matter what the situation is. I'm not 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I'm stepping in that thing. And what little T.I. son say? I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business with my woman. We're going to figure it out.
I just feel like you said, if you go in, I feel like when people get married, they really need to be very conscious about the decision that they're making within the person that they're marrying. Because if you're going into a marriage with an exit plan, to me, that's like you're going into something with the expectation that it will fail. And why is that? Explore that before you even get married. But I feel like any party should feel some type of way if they find out that their spouse has an exit plan, even if it's not the provider, because there's been plenty of situations where the provider, the man that's been going home and making the bacon or whatever, also has something on the side, and then he just dip off and ride off into the sunset with like the next thing he had it planned. Like, I feel like anybody should feel some type of way if their spouse has went into their marriage or at any point in their marriage thought about, what do I need to do to get myself out of this? That person is probably not the person for you. And we gonna get into the mama thing because I have something on that, but we'll talk about that on the back end.
Yeah, we gonna spin the block, man. We gotta pay a couple bills. We gonna be right back. Global RnB 96.3. Hit the hotline, ladies and gentlemen, especially all my ladies. I want to hear from y'all on this situation. Hit the hotline 804-476-2306, or hey, make sure you put it in the comment section. Global RnB 96.3. We back after that quick little break, man. Global RnB 96.3, the real deal in digital radio. Still locked aside the midday lounge with your boy, the midday lover, Jackie Jamel, along with a lady named D. D, listen, quick recap, just so everybody who wasn't paying attention or whatever. We talking about this escape money. Should you be having a little bit of a escape stash, in case your marriage goes downhill? Okay, so what I want to ask this, we talked about that situation, but I need to talk about this specific situation that went with the actual clip because it came from the wife. She said her husband's a good man. He provided everything. He never even raised his voice, never put hands on or nothing like that. But what happened was he got injured at work, and so he lost his job. Well, he got injured at work. So they had to dip inside their savings because he was off of work for a while. He worked 2 jobs for a little bit. Said she did a little bit also. Then when he came back, she went back to being a provider. Now, the situation is, Shorty got 47K stashed away. Was she wrong for having especially that much money stashed away for that escape plan?
Do you have to bleep out the A word? Can I say that? All right.
No, go ahead and say it, baby.
I want to say that she prefaced this whole thing asking, was she the asshole? And this is the part where I can answer whether or not I feel like she was an asshole or not. Hell yes.
Tell me.
She is definitely the asshole in this situation for the simple fact that you have money stashed away or whatever. And in the beginning, I said, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that. Definitely, have money stashed away for whatever may came up. These are one of those instances where something came up. You mean to tell me you were sitting on 42K while your husband was injured on a job that he used to provide you with a house, car, food, whatever you needed? I know this man was providing for you, and y'all have no kids, and you could not dip into that money that you had stashed away to pull both of y'all afloat when he's been holding y'all afloat this whole entire time. Make it make sense. Shorty went on to say that she got a part-time job instead of dipping into that money that should have been used in this instance. Like you said, this man was making in the mid 6 figures. Like if whenever he recovered from his injury or whatever, I could assume that he would be making upwards of that. To this day, you could have recouped that 42K easily. Like that makes no sense. Easily. Yeah, she is dead wrong in this situation, and I'm surprised that he must not still to this day know about this money, because why are you still with this lady?
Drop one of K-Rose's bombs for a lady named D. You was preaching to me, baby. You was preaching to me. You talking my love language right now.
I'm just saying.
Man, I need everybody to tap in. Yes, she was wrong. All right. Now I need to recap real quick. She was not working, so that means beforehand he was the sole provider. So that means she got her savings. In the Army, we like to say acquired. When we say acquired, we're really saying that we stole. Okay, so she acquired. Because I know they're married, but she acquired his money, their money, but she acquired this money throughout the entire marriage, I'm assuming. All right, but she acquired 42K, 47K. God damn, man. I wonder how many years they was married.
Were married
anyway.
for 7. 7 of the 8 years that they were together.
Come on, let me get out my calculator. Let's do.
Now he's about to give us a math lesson. 42K.
Let's do some division,
by 12.
Yeah. I ain't got time.
8.
All right. Gee, 42K, 47K, the entire marriage, she had stashed away. So when things went south, just like you said, she didn't, in my mind, you didn't even give a damn about us for real, because that's when you were supposed to step up to the goddamn plate. You were supposed to step up to the plate and say, you know what, hey, you been holding it down, baby, all these times. It's not like he made a financial bad decision or nothing. Brother got hurt at work and they had to go through all their savings. But I mean, he's been holding it down. You never had to do a damn thing except for take care of the house. And you ain't had no kids. It's just y'all two. And the second that he get hurt, you got this savings and you never stepped up to the plate in that instance. You got your part-time job. I commend you on that. But 42K, 47K. Oh my, Lady Name G, what the hell we talking about? In my mind, that's me saying you didn't really have our back.
What we have is people that are ill-equipped for marriage. But
100%.
Now we get to the part where I wanted to get to, because I know you about to talk for like a million in 1 year. So was the mother, in your opinion, right to advise her daughter to keep an escape plan route?
Okay.
On the Underground Railroad.
Hear me out. She was dead, in my opinion, she was dead wrong to advise her on the escape plan. Now, my father even told my mom straight up, you're dumb if you never had any savings account. You didn't have a savings the whole time. If my dad was the main provider, he said it nicer than that. I don't want to say it like that because I'm saying it on radio, but he was basically saying that's a fool's decision if you didn't have a savings account. I expect for you to have a savings account. I expect for you to have an account that I'm not even worried, I don't even know about. I kind of expect that. And me too. I kind of expect, I would say I would want my wife to have a savings account. I don't necessarily even have to know about it because I'm assuming she's doing what she will with it. Now, if the intent was for the escape, I got an issue with. And so and I understand the mother's logic behind trying to protect her daughter. I understand it. But it's like she put that fear of doubt in her daughter. She put that in her mind off the rip, in my mind. And this is my opinion. So yeah, I think she was wrong for it. I think the mother should advise her like, hey, just keep a savings account for emergencies. Whatever that emergency may be inside of your heart of hearts and your mind of minds, that's what it's for. But to advise her on the damn escaping, just in case stuff go astray, nah. Now, before we go on, I understand this is a new day and age, and everybody they got to protect themselves. I understand it, and most people ain't staying married the way they used to be staying married, and I get that too. The problem with the daughter was take your mother's opinion. If you want to take her advice or her guidance, I get it. But once you saw that, you know what, dang man, he really is a good man. He's really been holding it down. I don't really have a care in the world. We might have some disagreements, but he's never as much raised his voice at me. He never put his hands on me. He's a good man. That's when your intuition, and what we call it woman's intuition, should have kicked in. Like, I hear what my mom was saying, but you know what, let's go this way. And my issue comes back to, she kept it going. She kept this plan in place, and you acquired 47K. And then when stuff went down, you didn't step up to help him in any kind of way. And your mind didn't shift like, man, my man's been holding it down. He never did anything to me. F what my mama say. Let me help my man out. This is what we got this money for. And that's how I see it should have happened, but it didn't happen that way. She the asshole. Let's keep it going. The mama is too.
All right, so this is where we get to talk about how your trauma affects how you raise your kids, the advice that you give your kids, and how your children process these traumas. Now, was her mother right to advise her of an escape route? Nope, I completely disagree with it. But from a certain standpoint, I could understand based off of what her mother might have went through in her past previous marriages or relationships, or what her mother has seen, that perhaps she thought it was in good faith, like, good to advise her daughter of such things. But at a certain point as parents, I feel like we need to parent based not on what we have been through, but what the future that we want our children to see. I want my daughter to be in a successful marriage if she decides to do so. And I don't want her to make certain mistakes that I made or mistakes that I've seen that my parents have made or my grandparents, and vice versa. And I feel like that was a moment for her mother to sit down and be like, look, are you sure this is something that you want to do? Definitely tell my child, hey, definitely make sure you protect yourself. Definitely make sure you keep your money to the side. But the advice that her mother should have been giving her daughter is that when you're in a marriage, it really is through sicker, for better or for worse. So when your husband isn't able to hold up his end of the bargain, that's where you get the strength to come up and uphold your husband like your husband is supposed to uphold you every single day. That's when you have the balance of scales. Everybody likes to talk about, the red pill, blue pill, and all these gender roles, but in the reality in a marriage is there might be times where your husband cannot be the provider based off of injury, illness, and you might have to fill those shoes. And a strong marriage will only last if you're willing to do that. If you're only willing to be a wife up until your husband goes through something like an illness or a disease or a loss, then you're not really equipped to be married, and you're not really well ready to be married. And that's just how I feel about that whole thing.
You dropping gems, man. Listen, what's y'all thoughts? Was the mother tripping? Was she a blithering idiot in this situation for advising her daughter to have an escape route? All that and more, man. Hit the hotline 804-476-2306. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms at Global RnB 96.3. I want to see y'all comments inside the comment section, man. Global RnB. Be back in a second, baby.